Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Hello everyone. Welcome to my live stream again. Oh no, I think I said the name wrongly. Well, it doesn't matter. It's not Jewelry Street Fighter. Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream again. Do you hear me okay? Alright, cool. Sorry about the name, I forgot to change the name when I stream it. Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And how are you guys today? Hope you're doing alright and staying safe at home. Yes, today I'll be drawing Sakuragi from Slam Dunk. I've already done the girl, so now I'm going to do him. Alright, without further ado, seems like the Twitch is not going through. I hope he's doing okay. Anyway, I'll go ahead. Thank you everyone. Thank you for those of you who come to my live stream for the very first time. Welcome. Hope you enjoy your stay and maybe even learn something from me at the end of the stream. Recently I was talking to one of my collectors about our childhood anime, like what do you watch when we were a kid, and then we talk about Slam Dunk. Then I was asking myself, yeah, right, so I love Slam Dunk so much and I have not done any Slam Dunk art. Maybe that's the reason why I start doing the Slam Dunk stuff. Again, for those of you who are looking for the entire roster of sketches from Slam Dunk from me, no, it won't happen. Yeah, but will I draw a few more, maybe? Oh, cool. So Twitch is working. Welcome, Twitch. Remember in my younger days when I was watching Slam Dunk, it got me so inspired. Then I started playing basketball alongside with watching the NBA. And back then that was the prime time for Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. So I was really obsessed with that. So before every match of basketball game, I watch a bit of Slam Dunk first to inspire myself. Oh, thank you. So if you're writing in other language besides Chinese and English, I won't be able to understand. Yeah. Hello, Anthony from Mexico. I think I received quite a few messages from social media, and some of the fans asking me why am I not drawing anything digital. Well, the fact that I am, just that I can't show them to you guys yet. But during this lockdown, I do think that I have a bit more time to grind my traditional work, um, to improve myself. I always think that my traditional work is not as good as my digital, so might as well take the time to improve while I'm being confined in at home. So don't worry, I'm not moving away from digital. My bread and butter is still digital stuff. But I really want to get good with my traditional work. How do I get discovered by DC and Marvel? Well, I used to have a friend who knows someone from DC, and he just introduced my name to one of the editors, and the editors love what I'm doing and start assigning me job. To be honest, it's really that simple. You're right, always space to improve. I'm going to rely a lot more on the rendering part of it to make the hair looks correct, so the inking part is a bit more subtle, at least for the black. Try not to overdo the black. Who's my favorite character to draw? There are many, of course. But in general, I really like to draw anime characters. That may come as a surprise for, I mean, to some of you, because I work on a lot of American comic stuff. But personally, I really love anime and manga, and games as well. So characters like Chun-Li from Street Fighters is something that I really enjoy drawing. Have a question. Is it better to lay your Copic and Shinta marker vertically instead of horizontally? Honestly, I have no idea. I've been keeping my markers are horizontally or slightly tilted. Has been okay for me, I don't see any big issues of the Copic being dried up and stuff. But maybe I'm just lucky. What do you think? Do you think I should make it vertical instead of horizontal? I find that horizontal is much easier for me to pick colors when I'm looking at the shelf. And someone asked how to make clean line art. I think it's really about the hand-eye coordinations, like how far can you see the lines from one point to the other point. So before you draw a line, always try to visualize where the line will be going. So where is the starting point and where's the end point, and try to imagine a path that connect these 2 points before you start drawing. I think that will really, really help. Don't try to figure the line out as you draw. Have I working for any company? You mean full time? I'm running my own studio. I do work with many company through my studio. Am I going to join the entire team? No, I'm not. I think by now most of you will know that this kind of hype that I have comes and go. So I'm not so committed to draw everything. I mean, I'll draw some of my favorite character from the property, but that's all. Can you tell me how many years have I been drawing? I've been drawing for the past 30 years. And let me say again, I've been drawing 6 to 8 hours a day for the past 30 years. Sounds pretty obsessive, huh? But that's how. But because it's fun, so I just can't stop drawing. What was a big challenge I need to overcome? In drawing, I think in my younger days, my biggest struggle was to learn how to draw the right things. As in, what's the proper way to draw? Like, what are the fundamentals I need to learn? I mean, I always wanted to meet someone in my life who can show me the way in art. Like my mentor. So I've been looking for one, but never found one. So eventually I told myself, screw that. I'll just do my best and learn whatever I can, and hopefully things will work out eventually. And I'm glad it did. So instead of trying to find a mentor, I try to become a mentor for somebody else, for other people, for the next generations. Have I drawn Z fair yet? No, not yet. Probably after the next installment of Final Fantasy Remake came out, then I may consider drawing him, but not at this point. How to art as career? You mean career? You mean how to make art for a living? Is that what you mean? If yes, then yeah. Keep drawing, keep getting good. I mean, before you try to sell your product, make sure you have good product to sell. That's what I always think. So before I worry about whether I can make a living with art, let's be good first. Always find that drawing is really fun, whether you try as a professional or just as for fun as a hobby. It's still a very good hobby to have. So in the past, I was telling myself, even if I cannot make a living with art, I can still enjoy creating and drawing because it's fun to me. What do I think about illustrating for game company? Which I did many times. I guess it's fun if the game that you're working on is something that you personally love. I think that would bring a lot more fun into the project. Yeah. But then again, not every time you can find something that is really fun to work on. As a career, as an artist, it means sometimes you just need to make your ends meet and accept job that you may not be very interested, but it pays the bill. Depends on what you mean by working with a game company, because there are many ways an artist can work with game companies, whether you work to provide illustrations. For example, you design a box cover for a game. That's very different from, for example, designing a game character for the company or any kind of design. Because when it comes to concept designs, for example, for games, you may not see your final design, your design that you put in in the final version of the game. Many times you don't actually. Mainly because it have gone through so many rounds of changes and input. So by the time you see the final version, it looks nothing like what you have designed for them. So the satisfaction is much lower compared to, for example, designing make a marketing illustration for the game, making a cover for the game. Those are quite different. Those are a lot more rewarding, in my opinion. But then again, when it comes to commercial art, whether it's emotionally rewarding is pretty secondary, especially when you are starting out. You're still surviving, try to make things work, try to build your clientele. But hopefully you'll get to the point that you have a option to choose what you want to work on. I think that would be the best place to be. After all, don't we all, as artists, our ultimate goal is to be able to draw anything that we wanted to draw and people pay you money for it. Isn't that the end goal? At least that's to me. So I need to work hard to make that happen. Which company have I worked with as illustrator? You must be new to my art. Yeah, for companies like Capcom, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Riot Game, Valve. Let me think. Sony, EA. Yeah, all of them. Probably many more. I don't tend to remember all this until I start thinking hard about it, because it really doesn't matter. What's it like working with Sideshow Collectibles? Very fun. Sideshow Collectibles, for those who don't know, they make statues. So you see some of the superhero statue that I make, those are from, many of them are from Sideshow Collectibles. And I really enjoy working with them, especially with the art director back then. It gave me so much creative freedom that I can really propose and do whatever I like to do, and we will just bounce ideas off each other. So that's a very rewarding experience when you have clients who respect what you're doing and willing to compromise or willing to go with your directions. You feel more validated. So that's cool. So I've been working with them for many years, and they're still one of my favorite clients so far. Hello, Angry. By the way, I'm doing this live over at Instagram Live, YouTube and Twitch as well, if you prefer other platform to watch this stream, you can switch over. Hello for those who just joined me. Welcome to my live stream. By the way, the stream will stop every 1 hour, so because of the limitation of Instagram. So when I stop, I will restart it. So don't worry if the stream stops suddenly. There's no warning to me as well. Yeah, I know the label saying Jewelry Street Fighter. I forgot to change it. I'm sorry. When you get older, you tend to forget things. Excuse me. Man, it's so tiring to draw typography. I think that's the time that I miss digital. He's an art legend. Oh, don't say that. I'm still alive. What's this anime that I'm drawing? Oh, this is from Slam Dunk. Yeah, if you are not born in my era, you may not know about Slam Dunk. but it was one of my favorite anime back in the days when I was a teenager. And it was drawn by the same guy who drew Vagabond. If you have not read Vagabond, the story of Musashi, I think you should totally catch it. It's amazing. Not just the story, but the art also. It's mind-blowing. The quality of the ink, the line work. That is legendary. Yeah, the title card is wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah, the title of the stream is wrong. Apology. I hope it doesn't look like jewelry at all. Wherever draw Musashi? Sure, why not? I love it. Okay, just want to make sure that the line is in the right place. Then I can move on to add some gray tone to it.请问这位会流川吗？ Yeah, maybe. Also like also think about drawing Sendo. I like him as well. Yeah, sorry for the wrong title again. Yeah, don't nitpick on me. I got old and I forgot to change the title. I promise you, this is not jewelry. Okay, let's put in a bit of the eyes. Okay, I think that should be good. Let's put some black in there. Okay, I noticed you, Rick. Mm. You aspire to draw as good as me? No, don't do that. Aspire to draw better than me. That's the spirit. Is there any character that I don't like to draw or too difficult to draw? Well, I don't like to draw mecha. So it's machines, mecha, robots. Those are things that I'm not very interested to draw. I still prefer to draw human figures. How many different pen did I use? Quite a lot. I mean, I buy a lot of different pens for this, just for fun, to try out different things. Yeah, to see which one were better for me. So I do have quite a collection of pen. I think many of you, as artists, can relate to that also. I mean, we are pretty obsessed with equipment, stationaries. Sometimes we buy it for the sake of the look of it. Actually, many times. And how many of you are guilty of that? What's my favorite video game character? I think I mentioned just now, it was Chun-Li. Yeah. If I ever draw Galactus? Maybe. I think I've drawn some, like quick sketches at conventions, but I did not post it. Is my teaching lesson available for online? No, unfortunately not. I do not have any online classes or courses. The only thing you can look at digitally is the videos that I posted to my YouTube channel. Have I ever thought about drawing my own comics? It did, and I did entertain the thought, but eventually I told myself I don't think I can do it. Simply because the commitment is just way too high for me. Alright, so let's put some ink. Yeah, so instead of making my own comic, I choose to help other people selling their comic by making nice cover for them. Hello, Andy. I would like to see your OCs. Yeah, I do have OCs. If you can just Google Arjun Pepper, you can see many renditions of my OC. I even have a statue made for that officially by Sideshow Collectibles of my OC. Yeah, you can check it out. Just Google Arjun Pepper, Pepper. My husband is such a big fan of Slam Dunk. Cool. Yeah. Good taste. Hope today's stream is not too late for some of you, especially those from the States. What's my favorite Slam Dunk character? This one. I mean, in the past, when I look at anime, sports manga or anime, usually it looks quite bizarre. I mean, it's very fantasy like Captain Tsubasa. It's really crazy, but I think when read Slam Dunk, it feels a lot more realistic. And the way to see how Sakuragi grow, uh, overcome his weaknesses, and really tap onto his talent and nurture that part of it. I think it's very very motivating for a young person like uh, when I was back then. Yeah, you know, if you ever watch Captain Tsubasa or even Prince of Tennis, you can see how crazy some of these sports manga can go. I mean, you can start bringing galaxy and dinosaurs in a sport manga. I think it's a bit too much. I'm talking about Prince of Tennis. What is your advice for someone who is really struggling to enjoy the process of learning when drawing? Why are you struggling in the first place? I mean, like, is it because you impose a lot of pressure for yourself to improve and to arrive in at certain level with your art within a very unrealistic time frame? If yes, that's all on you, you know. I mean, we all need to take time to learn and understand that learning is not a linear path. You don't just learn with a straight line. You move along, you move forward a little bit, and then you encounter obstacles. And then you try to overcome the obstacles and may stuck there for a while, and then you move on with it. So improvement is like a ladder, a staircase. I mean, so like a staircase in this way. And you should celebrate every breakthrough that you have in your art rather than feeling sorry that you are not improving fast enough. Sometimes you just need to overcome a few big obstacles and you start to see your art level up in a much faster speed. But as I always say, even in this live stream, is that many times your fastest way to improve is to really slow down. That means take time to think through what you have done, what you are doing, why you are doing it, so that you really internalize all this knowledge. There's no point rushing it. I mean, just think about plants. It doesn't mean that you water more, you put in more fertilizers, you expose to the sunlight a bit more, it will grow faster. It doesn't. It just takes time. And you take time to integrate your knowledge and your understanding of things in order to see the effect in your work. So don't impose unrealistic expectation on yourself, and never try to compare yourself with other artists who have spent years and years in order to achieve to the level that they are today. That includes myself. How do I know where to put the shadows? All these are all this all come down to the understanding of fundamentals, which means that understand how does light work in reality, so that you can replicate them in art. So there's a lot of foundation training to be done to understand light and color together. You cannot do them independently. You must understand both at the same time. So although it may look easy for you when I draw, but there are many decision making that I've gone through in my head when I'm drawing it, when I'm placing the shadow, so I have to define the folds, the textures of the folds. How does the fold look like for different thickness of the fabric? How to replicate that? How to make the fabric look thin? How to make the fabric look thick? All these are considered when I put in a line or put in a stroke in the art. I think eventually art is always a journey of how to understand how things work in life and try to incorporate that, modify that, exaggerate that into a form of art to express yourself visually. Sorry, I couldn't give you a simpler answer to this. It's just a lot of learning and grinding and understand how things work. That's why we talk about fundamentals. Those are the building blocks of art. Can you explain why do you choose to do digital in Corel Painter over Photoshop? Well, I did not choose to do my digital with Corel Painter over Photoshop. I do it both. That means when I draw, I open up both software and I bring the file back and forth between these software. Of course, I've been using Corel Painter for 20 years, I would say. Wow, time flies. So I'm very comfortable with that. And I realized that the painting engine in Corel Painter look more powerful, or visually it looks more interesting to me. When you paint in Photoshop, it feels like you are stamping a shape. For example, if you use a round brush in Photoshop, basically what Photoshop does is that it makes a round shape and then you replicate the round shape and form a stroke. So whatever you put underneath the stroke, whatever color or pattern or anything that underneath the stroke has no impact to whatever you are painting. But Corel Painter do take into account of that. So whatever you paint on top of anything, the stroke will try to blend or find a middle ground to transit into whatever colors underneath. So I think it will produce a nicer looking result. I don't mean it's better, but nicer to me. Yeah. I think that's the only reason, and the other reason is just pure habits. And so I do think that there's some interesting brushes in Corel Painter that I could not find and replicate in Photoshop, simply because the engine is quite different. Yeah. Inoue Sensei, what do I think? I think he's a god. He's amazing and such inspiration for all artists. I mean, sometimes when I when I read Vagabond, I'll just pause myself, just admire the quality of the art, really like look at the details, look at how he put in the, how to he depict different actions, scenario, emotions. So usually when it comes to comics like that or mangas like Vagabond, I'll spend a lot more time analyzing it. So I will go the first round, just go through the story, and then I'll come back and look at the details of the art, and really study it. Probably about 4 to 5 times. I mean, doesn't mean I get it, doesn't mean that I can replicate it, of course not. But at least I try to learn something from it. Acham don't need to eat lunch. I do soon. But I'm streaming, so I would rather finish this first before I eat my lunch. I do need a break soon. Always remember to take breaks every hour to preserve your hand. How important is contrast for me in my work? When I mean contrast, you mean value contrast, I assume? Not always. Always treat art like photography. Sometimes you have very high contrast image, like those studio lighting setup. Sometimes you have more naturalistic lighting. So the contrast will change accordingly. I think the more important question is that does the level of contrast help you depict what you want to achieve? I think that is important. So I observe a lot of lighting setup in life and try to replicate them in my work. Alright, I think I'm pretty good with the gray ink now. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to restart